So we thought perhaps maybe to buy the dip and maybe that you'd make 100% gains in a week or so. Well, that's not the case. God damn! I've got news for you guys. So in this video, we're going to be talking about what's been happening in crypto recently in the last week or so, what sector of crypto has been mooning, maybe it's likely to continue, as well as the upcoming and current crypto news, mainly talking about Binance and what that means for Binance users and alternative exchanges that you can use.
Hey yo, I'm focused. Cash me out in London speaking Polish. Having money on my mind and having money in my pocket. Bone marrow roasted, spread it on the rosemary bread, lightly toasted. Drizzle with the vinaigrette, stuffed Dutchess and it's pulling like a cigarette.
We have here a bit of a symmetrical triangle for Bitcoin, and I was hoping for, what this green line shows us here, that we break out to the upside, and obviously that didn't happen. But I was hoping for a breakout to the upside, a retest, and then a pump. But the opposite happened. We actually held this line of resistance and we haven't been able to go past it. And we broke this line of support now, the bottom line of the symmetrical triangle. So more than likely, we may come back up to the $33.7 thousand mark and then potentially go lower. If this there's not that many well, depending on where you started from. Let's say we started from here. If this symmetrical triangle is to play out, then let's just draw the height of it. Then potentially Bitcoin could be going as low as around 27,000. However, the 30k level seems to hold a support. Yeah, so the current price action does sort of remind me of the 2018/2019 bear market, where the price is just held and hovering above one certain level, being indecisive, not breaking towards either the upside or the downwards direction. And if we look at today's current price action, you can see it's eerily similar, not exactly the same, but it's eerie. So what sector is it that's actually been blowing up in the last week? Well, as you can see from this photo here, the NFT crypto the NFT crypto coins have actually been going crazy, with the #1 performer being Axie Infinity, going up around 155% in the last 7 days. The worst performer from this list has been a 44% gain from Alien Worlds, and even that in itself can't be scoffed at. But I'm sure a lot of you, including myself, were possibly unaware of the pump that was going on within the NFT sector. So what can we do about this, and how can we stay up to date with following on upcoming trends? Well, it's really hard to say. Generally, looking at key support levels, and if a coin breaks that, is a good idea. Another way is to follow the right people. So I do have a couple of people on Twitter that I follow, but the best way, coupled with what I mentioned about following trend lines, for example, something like this, you can see here we clearly have our trend line. We have broken above it. Now we're coming down to retest it. So if this level holds, this is Harmony 1. If this level holds at around 0.076 cent, then I believe there is space for it to go higher. Looking at the indicators, maybe they agree with my analysis, maybe they don't. So in terms of the stochastic RSI, it is at an oversold point, and that could mean two things. Either we continue to go higher, as these two lines have not crossed yet, as you can see, or that we've reached a local high and that the prices may reverse. However, I'm inclined to believe that the prices will continue to go upwards, as there's been a number of key pointers. We've made higher lows on this coin, as well as the candle itself looking fairly not bullish but indecisive. So if it was a bearish candle, it wouldn't look like this. At the moment, this is like a like a lightsaber sort of candle. It's not decisive which way it wants to go. If we end up closing below this line, then it will look, there'll be a long wick at the top, and it would basically indicate that there's a lot of selling pressure. Whereas if this can close above the red line and close possibly with a green candle, then there's room for upside. And another thing as well that I found to be a good indicator of a trend is the 20 EMA. So the 20 EMA, although it's not perfect, more or less, it shows you the trend that the coin is going in. So if we break below the 20 EMA, then I would say, you know, this trend is over, because this trend, the 20 EMA coincides with the downwards resistance line that this coin is facing. And you can see how well in the past this 20 EMA has been an indicator for the bullishness or bearishness of this coin, for the most part, as in, you know, when it's trending in itself. So one example being here, from the March dip to the summer rally, and then from the from the January pump all the way, you know, to the March top. And potentially now we are starting to set up the third leg of a pump. It's nothing set in stone, it's just something for you guys to sort of follow loosely. KCS having a crazy few hours, and it's actually gone down 15% or so, which is, it was not destined to happen, to be honest. It pumped, like, how much? It pumped around 300% in a space of a week. So it's only natural that there's going to be a pullback. In terms of the Fibonacci levels here, the 0.786 is currently being tested. Worst case, maybe we come down to this level of resistance here, which would be at the 618, which is also a common retracement level for coins and price action in general. And this, remember what I said about the 20 EMA? Well, that they may come into confluence, and they, you know, may complement each other. So do keep that in mind. If you do want to buy in, I think potentially KCS is a good coin to buy, but, you know, not financial advice. If you are going to buy this, have a stop loss, I would say at minimally at like $9 or so, minimally. That would be 10-20% loss, so quite a bit of wiggle room there. And yeah, that's just that. But yeah, now let's talk about the news. So first of all, the UFC have partnered up with Crypto.com, and I was going to talk about other platforms that you can use to cash out your crypto. So Crypto.com is actually one of them. The only disadvantage of Crypto.com is that you have to do KYC in order to actually withdraw your funds, and then you have to also deposit from your bank account onto Crypto.com. So it's a bit long-winded to get everything set up, but once you're all set up, it works like a charm. I've used it a couple times. However, Binance is my main choice of cryptocurrency exchange. And talking of Binance, actually, there have been a few banks in the UK, one being Barclays and two being Santander, that have actually stopped their customers from being able to use Binance's services. So I'm not 100% on whether you can withdraw to your Binance, but you definitely want to have backup accounts and backup exchanges there, just in case. You can just move your funds over to a different exchange, or even your private wallet like a Ledger or whatever you're using, and you don't want to be boxed in and, you know, not have any options. Luckily, Monzo haven't had the balls to do anything as stupid as that, and long may it stay that way. And anyway, UFC, they've partnered up with Crypto.com in a $175 million sponsorship deal. This deal will span over 10 years, and it's actually quite interesting how they've worked it out. So as a part of the agreement, Crypto.com's brand will appear on Fight Kit items. Whoa, slow it down, rewind. So as a part of this brand, the Crypto.com's brand will appear on the Fight Kit items worn by athletes during competition, as well as clothing worn by training staff. Additionally, Crypto.com has acquired the rights to the UFC's newly launched sponsorship category known as the Cryptocurrency Platform Partner. So that is very, very good for Crypto.com and their exposure to new potential clients. The market is a bit tentative right now, so, you know, it will take some time, but I could foresee this working out quite well as the UFC is continuing to grow. They have a huge following, and in future bull runs, you know, that Crypto.com logo being on the canvas there with, you know, potentially a higher Bitcoin than we're seeing today, that could lead to a lot of business for crypto.com. So that is good to see there. I'm not going to read the rest. It's quite self-explanatory what has been happening, so I don't really need to go over that. And I thought this was quite interesting. So China, the central bank, have been worried about stablecoins, and they're supposedly a risk to the financial system. This is a bit scary because we've already seen the crackdown on crypto, what that's done for the price action of Bitcoin. So now they want to go after stablecoins. So supposedly stablecoins, they have an inauthentic quality or trait to them, and they're worried that it might corrupt the current financial system, which, I mean, I do understand, but at the same time, I think you do more damage going after that sector. But why I thought this was interesting is because it's in contrast to China's actions of cracking down on crypto, we've seen the likes of Visa partner with partner with cryptocurrencies like Ethereum in order to manage their payments settled in USDC on the Visa network, thereby minimalizing fees and making overall global transactions a lot easier. Obviously, they're still in the works in terms of logistics and testing things, but that's how you want to be going forward. You don't want to, any new technology, in my personal opinion, I would want that to be spread and used throughout the country. So especially with how global payments and remittance payments are slow and expensive, this is just a more practical way, I think, for if banks and other payment processors are to enable crypto stablecoin payments and facilitate them, as opposed to shun them and just stick to the old brick and mortar, slow, old-fashioned way of doing things. But I don't know, maybe I'm a bit radical, who knows. In other news, a Bitcoin mayor candidate, Eric Adams, wins the New York Democracy primary. What does this mean for crypto? Well, without going into too much detail, I'm going to read a direct quote from Eric Adams here, a man with two first names. No offense to anyone who has two first names. I'm just stating the fact. Don't be mad at me. I'm just saying. Anyway, we're going to bring business here. We're going to become the center of the whoa. So we're going to bring business here. We're going to become the center of life science, the center of cybersecurity, the center of self-driving cars, drones, the center of bitcoins. I love how grammatically wrong that looks. Bitcoins, such an old person's, this dude probably types on his phone with one finger, just they're tapping his phone, like how old people use their phones, instead of using two hands or two thumbs. He's just using his index finger, just tapping on the screen slowly, looking with his glasses peered down just on the edge of his nose as he's looking down at his phone, squinting his eyes. That's how this dude probably uses his phone. But yeah, I digress. Anyway, the point is that Bitcoin is coming to America. In Miami, Francis Suarez, I believe his name is, the mayor of Miami, he is planning to make Bitcoin a more common thing in the city, as well as this guy Eric Adams. Guy with two first names. Like I said, no offense to anyone with two first names. I'm just saying, man. I'm literally just saying. Okay, don't shoot me. Right? You can leave a comment if you like, but it's not my fault you have two first names. It's your parents. Anyway, I digress. So going back to Binance, CZ, or Champeng Zhao, as some of you may know him, has called for clearer regulations amid growing pressure in the crypto space. As you guys know, I mentioned the Barclays and Santander Bank banning their customers from using the cryptocurrency services. And this all came about due to basically the Cayman Islands releasing a message that says the following. On the last Friday, the Cayman Islands on Friday last week, the Cayman Island Monetary Authority, CIMA, said that Binance, the Binance Group, and Binance Holdings Limited are not registered, licensed, and regulated or authorized in the jurisdiction. And this is where Binance have claimed to set up their HQ. And if this isn't true, then basically it runs a whole plethora of logistic issues that may cause, or that have caused Binance a lot of issues with several financial authorities, and that has led to them being shunned and being, you know, played around with by banks. But going forward, I don't really think this should be an issue. I mean, crypto is a growing industry, and I do believe that crypto is a growing industry, and I do believe that they'll hopefully find a common ground. Binance being the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange is, you know, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So for that reason, you know, they will find a solution. Maybe some banks may continue to postpone customers from using Binance's services until there is more legal clarity around the regulation and them actually abiding by the regulators' rules in respective countries, but that remains to be seen. So last bit of news is that I'm actually waiting for my freaking MTO tokens. It's quite annoying, really. So the Uniswap listing is going to be on the 12th of July. That is in 4 days. I still have not got my tokens yet. Supposedly they're worth a pretty penny, but you know, it's just imaginary money at this point, and it's a bit disappointing, really, to be, you know, messed around like this. Like, yeah, so I'm not too happy at the moment with Merchant Token. Hopefully they fix up and distribute the tokens by the end of the week. If not, man, I'm not going to be a happy bunny. But yeah, guys, enjoy your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.